All right, here we go again. This is number 8 from the CEME or CEMC or whatever the CEMC questions. The weekly sales, S for small technology company, are related to the weekly advertising expenses, X, by the given function, where the sales and where X has to be greater than 0. I wonder why that is. So the advertising expenses. Well, yeah, you're not going to pay negative money for sales. You don't have people pay you to do sales and advertising, and they're measured in hundreds of dollars. Okay, so that means if X is 1, that's $100. If X is 5, that's $500. So I'm not going to put 100 unless I want it to be 100, so $10,000. I have to be careful of that. According to the model, what amount of weekly sales in dollars should the company expect if it spends $3,000 a week on advertisement? So that's $3,000 a week on advertisement, and it says advertisement are measured in hundreds of dollars. That's the weekly sales. Okay, so that makes sense. So X is equal to 30. X equals 30. We want to know, so according to the model, what amount of weekly sales should the company expect? And the amount of weekly sales is just S of X. So we're just really doing S of 30. Well, that ended up being pretty easy. So 520 times 30, 15 plus 4 times 30, and 30 is greater than 0, so we're following the rules here. 52 times 3 is 156. A couple zeros. And let's see, 33 to 12, so 120, 135. I'm going to use my calculator for this one. We got 15,600, 15,600 divided by 135 equals, yeah, it looks like that's approximately equal to 115.56. And what is this saying? According to the model, what weekly sales in dollars do the weekly advertising, where sales and advertising expenses are measured in hundreds of dollars? Okay, so that means therefore the weekly sales should be about 5.56, because this is 5 repeated. This is $5,555. Okay, so remember you have to multiply by 100 because these are hundreds of dollars. Okay, so $11,555.56 about, approximately. Okay, determine the equation of the end behavior asymptote of the function. What does this indicate about the company's weekly sales? And let's just graph the whole thing while we're at it. Okay, so 520x over 15 plus 4x. 520x over, what do we say? 15 plus 4x. Well, I don't like to put the x at the bottom. I like to put 4x plus 15. I like to lead with the proper, with the highest degree polynomial, of the polynomial. Okay, so S of x is equal to that. Well, this is a horizontal asymptote, right? You got same degree on the top and the bottom. So if we were to divide 520x by 4x plus 15, well, I'm certain that we would get 520 over 4. So you have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 520. Well, 52 divided by 4 is 13, so 130. Okay, so what does that mean in terms of the height? So S of x at 130. Therefore, as the company, you know what, I probably should have been doing this more often. as the company spends more and more money we're talking about profits. What is this exactly? The weekly sales. The weekly weekly sales will get closer and closer to 130 $13,000 per week. So it's basically saying don't bother spending more money as soon as you're making close to 13,000. Don't bother spending more money. It's not going to do you any good. All right. So it's like I'm going to also graph this guy so that you can see what I mean. All right. So you got 520x over so y equals 130 is going to be our asymptote. We have a 0 at 0, 520x on top, so it's just at 0. We don't have any other zeros. We have an asymptote, but it's in the negatives, so it's like negative 15 over 4. So that's like almost negative 4, something like that. Right, and this obviously has to go up towards this asymptote, down towards this asymptote, then it comes like, oops, then it comes like this, but none of this counts because x, the domain, is only when x is positive. Right, so really our whole graph is right here. Starts here and works our way that way. Okay. Yeah, so you can spend, I mean it's worthwhile to spend money in this area, keep spending, but once you get up to here, it's really there's no use spending anymore. You're just going to make the same amount. You definitely shouldn't spend more than $13,000 though, I'll tell you that, because then you're going to start losing money. All right. I think that's good enough for this video, and just want to double check that I answered the question perfectly. Oh, there's a second. Okay, so yeah, the first we already did, 11,556, and the second one it approaches. What does it say? 13,000. Oh, that's interesting. So the weekly sales after when x is 30 is 11,555. Is it really worth spending more than 3,000 a week when you're only going to make another how much, another not even $1,500 extra? Probably not. I think it's your $3,000 a week is probably a good spending. All right, that's enough, and I will do another video for number 9.